This road just shows off what it's capable of. My goodness. Even when the pavement is less than stellar, the adaptive suspension in this keeps me pointed in the direction I go. The four-wheel steering keeps me pointed in the direction I want to go. The all-wheel drive keeps me pointed in the direction I want to go. It's just good all the way around. My goodness. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the updated 2025 Genesis G80 3.5T Sport Prestige all-wheel drive. A vehicle that really is channeling a 1950s Cadillac. It's big and luxurious and loves to cruise, but it's also insanely fun to drive as well. Yeah, you can say we have a little bit of a dual personality with this vehicle, and I'll explore both of them. Stay tuned. Gearheads, I know we test the latest and greatest vehicles that all typically come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in their wireless functionality. But what happens if you find yourself tethered to a USB cord in your older vehicle, or maybe your new vehicle just doesn't offer wireless CarPlay yet? Well, that's where this video sponsor comes into play with SyncKid wireless Apple CarPlay adapters. This has a USB-A, but also comes with USB-C adapters right in the box, allowing you to plug in just this simple dongle into your wired CarPlay adapter port, and then boom, there you have it. Now you have wireless Apple CarPlay, no USB cords necessary. Everything is set up now directly through your infotainment system. Brings you into the modern era. If you want to know more about them, hit the link down in the description below. First things first, gearheads, I want to say a huge thank you to Genesis for my birthday present. This is the second year I have had a G80 for my birthday week. We had one 2 years ago, and you can go revisit that review, but this one has been updated and has addressed a lot of my concerns with that one. Let's start first with what is underneath the hood, because while yes, in the intro I said this is channeling a big V8 rear-wheel drive American sedan, sadly, no, it doesn't have a big V8 under the hood, though it has the power of one. This uses Genesis's, as the name implies, 3.5 liter twin-turbocharged V6. And it is actually quite powerful and fun to drive. 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission to all four wheels. All G80s now are all-wheel drive. So this really is a sure-footed vehicle when you get out to it, and we may be missing a couple of cylinders, but there's still a lot here to be excited about. As we close this long hood, my goodness, the presence of this vehicle. Genesis is doing a smashing job at being an aspirational brand, better than, say, something like Nissan's aspirational brand in the Infinity line of vehicles that has existed since 1987. Genesis is a newcomer on the scene, and this really is slotting up with Mercedes and BMW with me in my hierarchy of how I would shop for brands. Now, I said this is a little bit of a dual personality vehicle, and I mean that. Throughout the time that I've had this vehicle, it has been an exceptional cruiser. And by that, I mean, I've liked taking it everywhere I've gone. When we had this one 2 years ago, we did take it on vacation, and it proved to be a very nice vehicle just to get out and ride in, and that has not changed for 2025. The electronically controlled suspension in this has road preview, just like the GV80, so it's constantly watching the road in front and adjusting accordingly. If it sees a big pothole, it plans for that and adjusts accordingly, and really gives you a nice, calm, comfortable ride. Given that this isn't an SUV, it has a lower center of gravity, it's much more fun to be in and cruise, and to drive sportingly. I really do feel like this is channeling a 1950s Cadillac. I feel like it's a couple of tail fins away from being an old school Cadillac. The vibes that this gives is just get in, cruise, chill, take it easy. And I mean, the fact that it pampers you up front here with my heated and ventilated seats. I'll go ahead and put on my Ergo Motion seat and get a light massage while I'm driving. The way it just kind of floats over everything and isolates you from the road. I'm on highly textured pavement right now and on some Pirelli P0 performance tires. And yes, I'm getting a little bit of road noise communicated here into the cabin, but it's nothing like some of the vehicles that I have brought down this road. It is very calm and serene in here and makes just for an absolute lush ride and very comforting experience here on the inside. Now, as far as living with this day in and day out, this thing is super maneuverable thanks to four-wheel steering. Yes, that's right, the rear wheels turn, making this feel much more the size of the smaller G70 than this midsize G80 sedan. It really does maneuver very well. You can take corners very sharply, or you can wedge into some very interesting parking spots in tight parking spaces and parking garages, because that back end will swing around as those rear wheels do turn opposite of the front ones at low speeds, making this an insanely maneuverable vehicle in all situations, but also lending to that kind of duality of personality of this. Yes, it's super comfortable and plush to drive, but when you see road signs like the one I'm looking at right now with the squiggly line, you know, you can hit this drive mode button and put it in Sport or Sport Plus. You're going to get some more throttle response. The seat is going to hold you just a little tighter with these adjustable bolsters. The adaptive suspension is going to firm up just a little bit. And unlike the GV80 coupe and SUV, there isn't all that much body roll in this because, well, I'm not in an SUV. This is the performance driving experience that they are aiming for with those SUVs and just really can't quite capture because of, well, physics. There is only so much you can do to counteract the fact that an SUV, a crossover, is much taller than a good old sedan when it comes to drivability. This thing is so much fun to pilot around corners and to take places at speed. The powertrain in this is very responsive, very powerful, and at least here inside the cabin sounds very powerful too, though I'm pretty sure most of that is fake noise that is piped in through the Bang & Olufsen sound system, though it does make me feel sporting and dynamic from behind the steering wheel, piloting this thing around and mashing on the accelerator, that is for sure. You can see the adaptive suspension is doing some work on this East Texas back road. Ooh, tighten up my seatbelt just to make sure I was hugging snugly through that corner. But yes, the vehicle is making sure that I am safe through all driving situations here, and that I can continue piloting this vehicle in the direction that I want to go. So not only do I have four-wheel steering, I have all-wheel drive with a rear bias in this vehicle and all that adaptive suspension, making this a great Grand Tourer. No, it's not a sports car. It's not going to rival like a Corvette or even Toyota Supra. But my goodness, if you want to take four people around in supreme comfort and have fun while doing it, absolutely look at a Genesis G80 3.5T all-wheel drive, Sport Prestige, all the necessary acronyms and accolades on this one, because it is quite fun when the roads get twisty and curvy, and it's also a great vehicle on long straight stretches of highway where maybe you don't get to fully exercise all the additional bracing and stiffness of the suspension. I'm really getting no flex, no major body roll, no unfortunate characteristics. In fact, This has even corrected one of the main criticisms I had of the last G80 sedan that we had, and that was the roof. That too had the big glass panoramic roof, and it creaked and popped anytime there was any flex in the body, to the point where I felt maybe we were in trouble of it popping on me. It just felt like there needed to be a little chassis stiffening to that old sedan platform. We're not getting any flex in this. This is a rock solid vehicle and has proven to be very fun on curvy roads like what I just got off of, and long straight stretches like what I'm on now. This really is a great vehicle from top to bottom, and at $78,000 as this one is equipped is quite the bargain as well. Did I mention this is a $10,000 bargain over the GV80 Coupe we had recently? Sure, you're giving up the E supercharger, but I don't really feel like it added that much to it, and kind of ruined its driving characteristics in town because it wanted to stop the engine kind of prematurely, whereas this has less weight to carry around, so you don't really need it as much. I mentioned this being a much better aspirational vehicle than something like an Infiniti product, which we are also testing this week in a six-figure body-on-frame SUV that isn't quite as luxurious as this one, all told. Yes, it does have some features that this one doesn't, but I feel much more pampered, much more luxe in this vehicle. And oh yeah, I can do fun stuff like this. In this vehicle, it is much more a driver's vehicle than a big SUV. This thing will move too, my goodness. Please keep buying sedans. Sedans are fun. We want brands to keep making sedans, and this is one of the best ones. This really is a good one that puts a smile on my face in all situations. Love it, love it, love it. It's a spectacular car. Love it. Love it, love it. And when you're done with all that, put it back in comfort and you cruise. Definitely gets softer. Whee, whee. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, see what we're testing next, absolutely hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, I am going to enjoy the mess out of this vehicle just a little bit more, because I'm on my favorite driving road and one of my favorite brands to date. So until next time, gearheads, bye. Oh, I love this car. Brakes, good. Not a lot of nosedive.